solve the equation. We have 4 times 2x plus 4 minus 2 times x minus 4 is equal to 3x plus 60 plus x. Okay, can somebody tell me what would be the first step? Anyone who will distribute? Very good. So the first step is to distribute. So let's do that. We need to distribute all these. So we get 8x plus 16 minus 2x. What would be the next step here when you distribute this? It would be negative 2 times negative 4. That give you plus 8 equal to 3x plus 60 plus x. Okay, the next step is to combine like terms. Here we have 8x minus 2x. What do we get? Plus 6x. Combine the constant. What do we get? 16 plus 8. 20. 24. So here we have 3x plus x. I give you 4x plus 60. So what would be the next step, anyone? We can subtract 4x from both sides of the equation. It's a good idea to move the smaller x where the larger x is located, especially when we get into the topic of inequality. So here we get 6x minus 4x. That give you what? 2x. And plus 24 here, go to 60. To solve for x, we can subtract 24 from both sides of the equation. So what do we get on the left hand side? 2x would be equal to what? Would be 60 minus 24, which is equal to what? 36. Very good. So x would be equal to 36 divided by 2, which is equal to 18. You can always check our answer by substituting 18 here and see if it works. So it looks like the right choice here would be C. Okay, here we want to solve for x. What would be the first step, anyone? Distribute again. Go distribute. So here we have 0.8x minus, we have 0.4 times 40. What is 0.4 times 40? You can use your calculator if you like. I give you 16. Then here would be minus 0.4x is equal to 4. So we need to combine like terms. If I combine like terms, what do I get on the left hand side? 0.8 minus 0.4, that give me 0.4x. To solve for x, we need to isolate x. So we're going to add 16 to both sides of the equation. So here we get 0.4x is equal to what? 20. So x would be equal to 20 divided by 0.4. So what is 20 divided by 0.4? Again, you can use a calculator or divide, you get 50. So it looks like the correct answer here would be B. Okay, you want to solve this equation. You have 2x minus 6 minus x plus 3x plus 6 is equal to 6x plus 2. The first step would be to distribute. So we get 2x minus 6 plus x plus 3x plus 6 is equal to 6x plus 2. If I combine like terms, I get 2x plus 3x, that gives me 5x. I have another one here, it would be 6x. So a total of 6x. And it looks like plus 6 and minus 6 reduces. Okay. I can stop right here. What kind of solution do I get here, anyone? 6x is equal to 6x plus 2. Okay, if I subtract 6x from both sides of the equation, what do I get? If I subtract 6x here, 6x here, I will get 0 is equal to 2, right? When we get 0 is equal to 2, what kind of solution do we get? Anyone? We get no solution, right? We get no solution. So this would be an example where I have x plus 1 is equal to x plus 2. Okay, think about this. If I have a scale and the left hand side I have 1 pound here, the right hand side I have 2 pounds here, can I put an equal weight to both sides of this scale to make this balance? Is it possible? No way, because to begin with, this wasn't balanced. This was 1 pound, this is 2 pounds. Doesn't matter what I select here, there's no way I can make this equal. So this would be an example when you have no solution. No solution. Can somebody give me a simple example when you have infinitely many solutions? Can somebody give me an equation where you have infinitely many solutions? Simplest equation you can think of. Very good. X is equal to x. That's a good one. So it doesn't matter what I pick here, it works. All real numbers would be a solution here. All real numbers would be the solution. So we could have all real numbers or no solutions for this case. Now in this case, if you look at this carefully, once we get to this point here, this will be like 6x plus 0 is equal to 6x plus 2. 6x plus nothing equal to 6x plus 2. It would be like this example here, where I have x plus 1 is equal to x plus 2. There's no way I can make this equal. So the correct answer would be no solutions. Or sometimes they use this symbol here. So what kind of equation do we have? Which one should we select here? A, B, C, or D? C would be no solution, or lose a symbol. And the type of equation that we have, we could select from conditional equation, identity, contradiction. So this would be contradiction when there's no solution. In this case would be identity. If I have x is equal to x, if I have all real numbers, that would be identity. We want to solve this equation for w. In this case, we have more than one variable in our equation. So we have minus 7 y to the power of 2 plus w y minus x is equal to 0. We want to solve for w. So I'm going to circle here. So we need to isolate w, have all the terms or numbers somehow attached to w, move that to the other side of the equation. So can somebody tell me what do you think would be the first step? Add x, very good. We could move the x to the other side. I can add x to both sides of the equation. That would be one step. Let's do that. So on the left hand side, you get minus 7 y squared plus wy is equal to x. What would be next step, anyone? Remember, we're solving for w. So what do we need to eliminate next? Yeah, would be 7y squared. So if I add 7y squared to both sides of the equation, then I would get that. So I would get wy is equal to x plus, in this case, plus 7y squared. What would be a next step here to solve for w? Anyone? Divide by y. So we have w is equal to x plus 7y squared over y. So which one would be the right choice here? Looks like we have C. Okay, we want to solve the problem. Walt made an extra $10,000 last year from a part-time job. He invested part of the money at 10% and the rest at 9%. He made a total of $970 in interest. How much did he invest at each rate? One way to set this problem here would to illustrate this way. So we have two accounts here. One account give you 10% interest. I'm going to mark this 10%. And the other one gives you 9%. and we have a total of $10,000. So it says he invested part of the money at 10%. So I'm going to assume we are investing X dollars here. If I spend X dollars, invest X dollars in the first account, how much money do I have left to invest in the second account if I only have $10,000? Very good. That would be $10,000 minus X. So after all that, it's making 970. So here we have our equation 10% times X plus 9% times 10,000 minus X would add up to 970. We can convert 10% to its corresponding decimal. They give you 0.1. Convert 9% to its corresponding decimal by divided by 100. They give you 0.09. And then we distribute. Before we distribute, we could multiply each term by a factor of 10. We can multiply each term by 100. So that gives me 10x plus 9 times 10,000 minus x equal to 970. So I don't have to deal with the decimal numbers. I can distribute that. I worked this problem in advance for you. You had 10x plus 9 times 10,000 minus n is equal to 970,000. Don't forget you have to multiply each term by factor of 10. So we have to multiply this also by 100. Okay. So that's why we have 97,000 here. So if I distribute and combine like terms, I can solve for the variable. So in this case, we call this n. You can call it any variable you like. So it would be 10n plus 90,000 minus 9n is equal to 97,000. Combine like terms, 10n minus 9n give you 1n. And then if I subtract 90,000 from both sides of the equation, n would be equal to 7,000. So you're investing 7,000 into the 10% account, and you subtract that from 10,000. That would be the rest. Would be 3,000. So what would be a correct answer? Looks like is C. $3,000 at 9%, $7,000 at 10%.